As for this whole like gravity and nonsense about you need a force, there's something called a downward electric current on the earth. It's measurable, it's provable. So we have positive energy increasing above, it then goes down to the ground to seek equilibrium. This is of course from a Richard Feynman lecture right here explaining it. It's a grounded metal plate, will have the same surface charge as the earth. The plate's covered with the ground conductor will have no surface charge. In the Next Level movie, actually it's Level With Me, check it out, levelwithmefilm.com. We actually did the experiment to show you can make things go up and down, manipulating electrostatics. Gravity's a fairy tale.
Electrostatics is a proven thing. We all know that a positive and a negative will attract towards each other. So the earth has a neutral or negative charge. Everything above it has a positive charge, and it is attracted to it.
Everything that exists is electric. There's not one thing that exists in the entire world that is not electric. It's actually the unifying force that keeps everything here, holds everything together, and everything seeks equilibrium based on that. So everything's trying to find a state of rest based on its electric phenomena or its electric nature within the environment that we exist within. And then when you start to look further into it, you find out that on the smallest scale, electrostatics is significantly stronger than gravity is even claimed to be. Magnitudes greater, 10 to the 36 power to be specific. So everything, simply put, everything that exists is electric. Everything that is falling to the ground or not falling to the ground is seeking equilibrium based on electrostatics. We can actually test this. We can use something called a corona motor, and whenever we manipulate electrostatics, we can make things levitate. We can make things go up or down, and we can actually change how fast they go down. We can also manipulate the weight of an object simply by manipulating electrostatics. And of course, that's how science actually works, is you do an experiment that shows you what the cause of the effect is, and you can manipulate electrostatics and cause the effect of downward acceleration, commonly referred to as gravity. Of course, I've never seen a test that manipulates space-time, and you will never see that. It doesn't exist. Everyone thinks that the reason things fall is because of gravity, but actually everything that exists is electrostatic. So whenever things go to the ground, they're seeking equilibrium, so they go find their balance on the ground where their charge disperses or spreads out in through the ground. So we have positive charge in the air, we have negative charge on the surface of the earth or on the ground, which is why it's called grounding, and then we introduced positive charge and then it went back down to the ground to seek equilibrium. This shows that that's actually what objects do when they fall to the ground. They go to the ground because of the electric forces and they seek equilibrium on the earth.
We knew about it as in the 1950s, even earlier, and it's all been hidden because if humans were allowed free energy, free movement, and able to explore, we would find out what this place is. We'd find out our position in this world. And that's the number one thing. Why are they hiding flat earth? Why? What's the motive? And the motive is to keep us dumbed down, not knowing who we are, not knowing where we are, not knowing the true power that we have, and not having true freedom.
Here's the downward electric current going down to the surface of the earth. So if you deny this, you deny basic, measurable, empirical evidence that can be done by going out in the earth and measuring that there's a measurable downward electric current on the earth. Oh, well, let's not talk about that. All right. Also, you don't need gravity for anything to do with the Earth. You can solve for downward acceleration using a kinematic equation. It has nothing to do with gravity or the idea that mass attracts mass, which is not even what your belief system is anymore.
But you can calculate gravity with kinetic energy. I agree.
So you don't need it at all. All you need is the height of the ball or whatever is falling. Then you need downward acceleration, what you're solving for, the time and the initial velocity. And this kinematic equation can solve for little a or little g, quote unquote, which is downward acceleration. Everywhere on the earth, for all engineering, anything you use gravity for can be solved completely without the idea of gravity.
So electrostatics you're talking about first, the ground grid. I test ground grids. I build things like Faraday cages to protect electromagnetic pulses and stuff like that. Electrostatics, and when we do that, it doesn't float.
Do you know what strawman fallacies are?
I do. So tell me
what... Did I say a Faraday cage would make something float?
No, but it blocks electrostatics. It reduces it.
Oh, so it's still there. Okay, and so did you not know that?
You don't get lighter, though.
Let me teach you something.
So you're just measuring the acceleration of gravity. You're calling it a fact. You're not explaining why that is. You're trying to use electrostatic to prove it is. But where's your independent, dependent variable to prove that you change the electrostatic to produce a direct change in the gravitational force that you're measuring, the velocity, the speed of things following.
Let me answer this. Okay. So I use a Van de Graaff generator, which has a little belt on it. It creates friction and creates electrostatic charge, and it makes objects float. It'll change their weight, make them go up, and change how fast they go down. Independent variable electrostatics, dependent variable objects going up or down. I manipulated it, showed the cause and effect. Now you do the same thing for gravity. Go.
I understand the test you're doing. You're creating an electric field underneath the device, which causes it to hover underneath the device. Is
Wrong.
that correct?
You don't even know how it works.
Doing it then?
It flips the polarity of the pill based on the two Gaussian surfaces. The field's polarity flips, and then electrostatic transference and induction to the object makes it goes up relative to the polarity of the field.
What? Any object?
Any object. I've done iron filings, hair, styrofoam, rubber, all kinds of like insulators.
Everything that's
wood,
insulators.
anything.
Lead?
Well, in order for lead, I have to have more than my Van de Graaff, which is only about 250,000 volts. But yeah, you can make anything float with enough electrostatics. The fact you don't know that, maybe you should go read MIT.
How many volts are you using?
Around 250,000. I just said that. So can you?
So why can't you shield against electrostatics and see that things float? Because
the object still has mass and weight and density. So what holds the matter together?
So it's not just electrostatics.
There's a mass charge equivalence, and this is going to be way over your head, but there's a mass charge equivalence because everything has a fundamental physical constant of elementary charge. So mass and charge, there's an equivalence within that with energy density and electromagnetic vacuum. But what I want you to answer me is what holds the matter together?
Go ahead, Van Zoom.
I was just saying.
On Zoom.
The strong force, the weak force, electromagnetism, the fundamental forces of nature is what hold things together on the atomic level.
That's not what holds the matter together.
And keep it real, that's as far as my knowledge goes with it. So
clearly, yeah. So actually, there's something called the electroweak force. The weak force is intrinsically electromagnetic as well.
I was just naming a few. If there's more, enlighten me.
No, there's not more, and you don't understand. Hey, buddy, what's mass? Is mass the amount of matter?
Yes.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about mass, we need to know what holds the matter together so we can have an amount of it, huh?
If we're so wrong, what is holding things together then?
Okay, they're called all
gravity.
Wrong. All intermolecular molecular attractive forces are electrostatic in nature, and it's 10 to the 36 power stronger than gravity's claimed to be.
It's strong and weak nuclear force, electromagnetic.
You don't know what that is.
I don't. No, I don't. I'm not a physicist.
Exactly. So stop saying stuff you don't know. What holds the matter together is electrostatic, yes or no?
I don't have to understand the process on how it works.
Regurgitate a religion. I get it. Yeah, most people don't understand their religion.
I accept it based upon testimonials of people that are experts.
Hey guys,
in the field.